Hello everyone and welcome to another Genshin lore video. Today, I'll be going over the story of the Wanderer's Troupe and their rebellions against the Aristocracy. I'll be going over the lore presented in the Wanderer's Troupe artifacts and weapons, the resolution of Sojourner artifacts, Ballads of the Squire, and more. Also, thank you all so much for 10,000 subscribers. You all are so amazing and I appreciate you all so much. Anyways, let's move right on and get into the video. The Wanderer's Troupe was a group of musicians and fighters who traveled around the lands of Teyvat over 1,000 years ago. This was during the time of the Aristocracy in Mondstadt, which is important to the later part of their story. And no, the Wanderer's Troupe has nothing to do with the playable Wanderer. Anyways, the Wanderer's Troupe was composed of 4 main members, with it being possible that there could have been more unknown members at some points. These members came from all around Teyvat, and they each had a title that they used. Their real names are unknown at this time. First up is the Conductor, who is the leader of the troupe. He wielded the Widsith, and his nationality is unknown at the moment. Next is the Sojourner, who hailed from Fontaine. He was beloved by the maidens in the court of Fontaine, and wielded the Stringless. At some point, he left Fontaine unannounced, much to the dismay of the maidens. Next we have the Dawnlight Swordswoman. She wielded the flute, and like the Conductor, her nationality is unknown at the moment. The final main member is Chryslede, who wielded the bell. He hailed from Mondstadt, and was actually a noble of the nation, born to the Lawrence clan. Now, as for how the troupe was formed, it all started with the Conductor. Likely already on his travels around Teyvat, he had a chance meeting with the Sojourner. As I said earlier, the Sojourner left his home nation of Fontaine unannounced. As for his reasons, he simply wanted to pursue a wandering, unburdened life and seek his destiny. The two would begin traveling together, and would eventually meet the other 2 members of the troupe. They first met the Dawnlight Swordswoman, followed sometime after by Chryslede. The Wanderer's Troupe was now formed, and its members would travel all around Teyvat to perform. They even visited the barren and windless land of the Mayor Javari, a place we still have yet to visit in the game. The troupe was adept at both music and combat, so it isn't too much of a surprise that they were able to survive a trip to the Mayor Javari. Towards the end of their travels though, they would travel to Mondstadt, the Nation of Freedom. At this time, however, the title of freedom didn't fit Mondstadt well at all. As I said, the aristocracy ruled during this period, and the nobles took all of the power for themselves. The Wanderer's Troupe arrived in Mondstadt around the time of the Ludi Harpastum, a festival filled with fun activities and events. During the climax of the festival, a young maiden will throw a harpastum from above into the crowd below, and according to Venti, whoever picks it up will be richly rewarded and receive 1 year of good fortune. In this particular festival, the Sojourner ended up falling in love with the maiden. However, during the throwing of the harpastum, she was claimed by a member of the Lawrence clan. Everyone else was too afraid to pick up the harpastum, as the Lawrence clan would punish any outside of their clan who did. Additionally, the maiden herself would be given to the member of the Lawrence clan, something the Sojourner saw as an injustice. After seeing this and the other injustices of this so-called City of Freedom, the Sojourner and the Wanderer's Troupe as a whole decided to rebel against the aristocracy. They would storm the city and attempt to overthrow the nobles, but their plan didn't go so well, and they failed. During the battle, both the Conductor and the Sojourner were killed. The Dawnlight Swordswoman would be enslaved as a gladiator and would eventually die in the arena. As for Chryslede, He didn't get any severe punishment due to his noble lineage, despite the fact that the Lawrence clan had disowned him for leaving in the first place. As for their weapons, they would no longer play any music. The harp strings of the stringless were cut, leaving only the bowstring. The flute was buried, and when it was unearthed, it had lost its ability to sing. The bell was soaked in acid, rusting the inner gears. The wood scythe is in the best condition though, only really suffering from moth damage and age. Now, you may think that this is the end of the Wanderer's Troupe's story, but there's still more. Even though their rebellion failed, their efforts and actions would go on to inspire many others to rebel against the aristocracy. The two members who remained alive after the battle would continue to fight for freedom as well. Starting with the Dawnlight Swordswoman, she was forced to become a gladiator, as I said earlier. During this time, she would meet a certain squire in Mondstadt's Knight Order. This squire was none other than a young Ragnvindr. She would inspire him to take a stand against the nobles, which he would later do alongside Vanessa. Of course, the Dawnlight Swordswoman would die in the arena before the aristocracy fell. After her death, Ragnvindr buried her and her sword together. He would then take on the title of Dawn Knight, which was based on her title of Dawn Light. Ragnvindr would play a major part in taking down the aristocracy, and the Ragnvindr clan is still present in Mondstadt to this day. As for Chryslid, I mentioned that he didn't get any severe punishment for his actions due to his noble lineage. However, the Lawrence clan did still punish him in a way. They saw the death of two of his friends and the enslavement of his third as his punishment, and believed it would keep him in line from then on. However, Chryslid would not be deterred from his goals because of this, and fought the aristocracy from the shadows in honor of his friends. He would form an underground organization that was dedicated to undermining the aristocracy. This organization would later assist Vanessa in her successful rebellion as well. As for the fate of this secret organization, it remains shrouded in rumors and speculation. In the lore of the Bell, it is said that there was once a popular rumor that this secret society worked in the background, keeping Mondstadt safe through deeds that the Knights of Avonius didn't need to know about. It was also said that the wolf pup Rostam ran this organization behind Grandmaster Arendolan's back, 500 years after it was formed. It could also then be possible that this secret underground organization is the same one that Diluc is a part of, as mentioned in his 4th character story. Anyways, the story of the Wanderer's Troupe is one that helped spark the flame of rebellion in Mondstadt, which eventually led to the downfall of the aristocracy. While most members were not alive to see it, they all played a part in freeing Mondstadt and restoring its original glory. I have a few other videos that touch on this time period, including Heart of Depth, Eberhard, and the 7 Wonders of Mondstadt. I would love to hear what other topics you'd like me to cover in the comments below as well though. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Sources and further readings are also in the description if you want to check them out. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video.